Hi everyone. This is where I get my thermographies, and if you'll come inside, I'll introduce you to my thermographer, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hey, Jared.
Thank you for taking the time to talk and do this interview.
Well, of course, you're my favorite patient.
So can you tell everyone your history and work background?
My name is Carol Conti. I spent 40 years as an X-ray tech and a mammographer. I'm still a licensed medical imaging professional. In about the last 10 years, medicine has taken a real turn, I think for the worse. It's become more commercial. And this was causing me a lot of grief because I was trained, when I was in medical school, I was trained that the patient came first, and it was patient-focused care. Nowadays, it's all about the bottom line. So it's all about getting as many patients through as quickly as possible, and not even taking the time to be nice to them, let alone gentle, and caring. So I have a good friend who's also my naturopath, Dr. Sina, who's been trying to talk me into thermography for probably the last 10 years. And as I got more and more upset with commercial corporate medicine, I started really thinking about it. And one day I quit. I'd had enough. I had enough of treating patients like basically pieces of meat on a conveyor belt, running them through.
Yeah.
So I really got online, did my research about medical thermal imaging, and decided that's what I wanted to do. So I quit my job, bought a camera, started my business, and darned if that camera didn't find my own breast cancer. I then went to the facility where I was working as a mammographer and had a digital mammogram that showed absolutely nothing. Now there's over 800 scientific studies, all from Europe, where thermography is mainstream, that have proven that thermography can find breast cancer 6 to 10 years before it can show up on a mammogram. Before it happened to me, I really didn't believe that. I really thought that mammography was the gold standard. Well, so it had to happen to me. And it turned out that my own thermal camera saved my life. Because if I had depended on mammograms, it wouldn't have found my cancer for years, and it was a very deadly invasive breast cancer. So with that, I really became passionate about thermography. I started my business, it'll be 6 years in April, in April of 2009. And since that time, I have learned so much more with thermography than I ever did with X-ray or any radiologic tests, because thermography shows actually physiology. It shows metabolic processes, where X-ray, ultrasound, MRI, all of those only show anatomy. And in order to find a cancer with conventional imaging, it has to be large enough to disturb the anatomy, whereas thermography finds it before then. It finds it on a metabolic level. When cancer cells divide, they give off heat, and we can see that heat. When cancer cells get together and form a tumor, that tumor starts its own blood supply. It's called angiogenesis or neovascularity, new blood vessels. So in the breast especially, the cancer will show up and look like a red spider, and it's right there. And it's going, here I am, and that's way before conventional mammography can see it. So in the 6 years since, I've saved many lives. I've had some amazing discoveries, and it's really made me a lot more aware of not only the metabolic aspects of cancer, but also other diseases. We can see all kinds of diseases and conditions before you actually have symptoms. So if we can see something before you have symptoms, we can reverse it. You can reverse it and not have to get that disease. We can see cancer before it spreads. we can reverse it, we can more easily treat it. And I think that's the way screening should be. We need to find things before you have symptoms, before you actually develop something, so that we can reverse it. That's prevention. And for 40 years I thought early detection was the key. Now, in this last half of my life, I'm focusing more on prevention. Preventing disease, preventing cancer, preventing death. That's pretty much my focus. It's really rewarding. I love what I do. I don't expect to ever retire. And in fact, I've now joined a group that's international. And we are striving to increase the quality standards, not only across the nation, but across the world in thermography, so that it is more universally accepted. It's accepted in other countries. For instance, Russia. You can get a PhD in thermography in Russia. You can't find it in the schools here.
Yeah.
So, we need to catch up to other countries.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.